All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and welcome to my channel. We got some unboxings I want to do, but I also want to do an update to remind people two situations that are happening right now with my channel. I did post a link to one of them in the live chat. It's also going to be pinned to the comment section once this video uploads. But I wanted to remind people that the comic book live auction I did last Saturday, there are possibly 9 comics left. There's one person that said they were interested in one of the books, but I just replied to him literally just 5 minutes ago. So that book may be off the table at this point. We'll see if they commit or not. I've had a couple of people say they were interested and never left any deposits, but I want to let everybody know that you still have time to purchase any of the remaining comics left in the auction that I did on Saturday up until tomorrow, which is Saturday, up until 11:59 p.m. So after that, those the remaining comics will no longer be available for sale. So even if you missed the live auction, you still have an opportunity. I do this all the time. I do a preview where you can get the comics before the auction. You could show up for the auction and get them right then and there. And then I usually do at least a week after the auction is done where people can actually buy some books. And as usual, I've had people buy before, during, and after. So again, the deadline for that is until tomorrow, Saturday, which is until 11:59 p.m. And that, of course, is Eastern Time. If you want to critique the AI art, please do. I thought I'd do something a little different this time, little kind of comical little image there. So if you want to critique it, good, bad, or indifferent, by all means, please do. Before I do the shout out to the Patreon, the second thing I want to mention to people is if you are interested in supporting my channel via Patreon at patreon.com/, we love comics, if I get at least 20 paid members by February 28th, I will be giving away this high grade X-Men 96. In my opinion, it's probably at least an 8.0, which has a rough value between $200 and $250, and I will pay for shipping domestically to the 48 continental United States. Internationally, which would include Alaska and Hawaii, you would have to pay for the shipping if you win, but it still would be worth it. There is no minimum to enter the contest other than the minimum to join anybody's Patreon, but you'll get um, one entry for every $2 you contribute. So not only does it help support my channel, it also helps me support the stray animals that I take care of on a daily basis. So there is a little bit of a shift up with the shout outs. We had one person that they canceled and one person that joined. So it's remains as of this time at 12. So we're only 8 away from having this happen. So let's give a shout out. So if you join my Patreon and become one of the paid members, you'll get your name shouted out every single video. I can either do your first name with your last initial, because I'm not going to give somebody's last name out on the internet. I respect people's privacy. But if you'd like me to shout out your YouTube channel or your social network, or if you have an eBay or Amazon store, or even if you have your own personal business and you'd like me to shout out your website or phone number, by all means, please let me know. And remember, if you contribute to something like this, it's basically, especially if you have your own business, um, it's actually a tax deduction. So you would actually be able to get this categorized as advertisement for your business. So you can use it as a tax write-off. So basically, if you're looking for tax write-offs, the more you support, the more you could write off at your taxes. So if that's something important to you, let me know. And I'll mention, like I said, your YouTube channel, your Instagram or Facebook or Twitter page, or like I said, if you have your own home business and you'd like me to promote your business website, by all means, please let me know at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And again, you can join at patreon.com/, we love comics. So, like I said, it's a little mix up of the names, but we have shout outs to Sith Lord, Michael B., Kevin W., Dan L., Herbert R., Annabelle N., Jason B., Kim N. And then the last four want me to promote their some of the things that I mentioned. So even though this one which is our latest entry into my I'm sorry, my Patreon account. Kendall Kids Comic, Kendall Kid Comics. He has a YouTube channel, but he said he hasn't made videos in a very long time. So maybe you guys can subscribe and maybe message him and encourage him to get a video or two out there. But shout out to Kendall Kid Comics. And then if you have Instagram, check out Scott at ScottWU077. If you have Facebook, check out Stephen at Stephen L. Turk Author. And then last but not least, if again you have Instagram, check out Silver Age Surfer underscore comics. So that's the situation with that. The regular contest, which by the way, if we get up to 30 paid members by February 28th, not only will I be giving away that X-Men 96 to one of the paid members, I will also include the unopened baseball card pack, which basically is the mid to late 80s, early 90s, all unopened packs. And again, I will ship those domestically. And when it comes to the baseball packs, I'll ship that all around the world, and I'll pay for the shipping. So again, the only minimum to enter is the minimum to join anybody's Patreon, which is $2 a month. But you'll get one entry for every $2 you put in. So the more you put in, the more entries. So again, it's at patreon.com/we love comics. Looking to do some trades. If you have any of these books, contact me, peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. See if you can get a trade going. So once again, that is the book that if I can get 20 paid members by February 28th of this year, of course. Again, if you want to take a look at this, this is the first appearance of Moira McTaggart. And again, in my opinion, about an 8.0. So we'll see what happens. But here is the box. The good thing is this was ordered from one eBayer. So they were nice enough to give me a little bit of a shipping discount. So I love the fact that sometimes, like, I don't do it on purpose, but I'll see an auction where I see a good deal and I'll buy something, and then I'll see another one and I'll buy something. And it ends up sometimes where um it's the same seller and they'll end up giving you a discount. So you're actually saving money by buying comics from one specific seller. So I think they took about between $7 and $10 off the total price, but hey, every little bit, money in your pocket instead of somebody else's. So I did ask them if they can put it in a box, which they did. I did ask them if they can put some cardboard, but they didn't do that. But that's fine. The box absolutely looks secure, and that's all I care about. They were nice enough to put the painter's tape. Big thing I would recommend to people, even if you're using painter's tape, you should always kind of fold in the edges. So this way there's a little gap. So it makes it easier to peel off instead of having to kind of have the fingernails to get it. I mean, it actually comes off fairly easily, but those little things just make it easier for a buyer. And making it easier for a buyer, they tend to not forget you and they tend to want to work with you more. So the more you're flexible in working with people, the more likely they're going to trust you enough to purchase from you again, because anybody can sell anything once. But can you get repeat business? And that's why, for example, with my auctions, I do all those added bonuses, and I also still allow the payment plans. So again, you have until Saturday. This one doesn't have a backing board, which is fine. I'll just put it in a new bag and board. But we're going to open this one up. So let's do this one first. Because if you guys have watched my channel, you'll pretty much know what this most likely is. All right. And it is not what they said it was. All right. So that's disappointing, but I didn't spend an arm and a leg because they said that this was a Mark Jewelers variant. And this is why I always say, don't assume, even if they show pictures, which they did. This is Red Sonja #1, the 1983 version. It is a newsstand, But I bought this because they said it was a Mark Julius variant, and I paid $22 for it. So I'll be getting my money back on that one. So that's disappointing. But that's why it this should be a warning for people to make sure that you verify and open up the comics, because I had years ago when I was living in New York, I bought a Hulk 180, and in the auction on eBay they showed the Marvel value stamp. And with me, I always check just to make sure. And lo and behold, when I opened it to check, there was no Marvel stamp. It was cut out. So I'm not saying this person intentionally lied, but if even if they didn't lie and it was an accident or a mistake, if you don't check, it's your problem and not theirs. So that's unfortunate. But the other two, like this one I just bought, it's a modern book, believe it or not, but I bought this one just for the cover. So this is Amazing Spider-Man number 29. This is the Surdsy Spider-Man foil virgin variant. Got it for $10, but after shipping and handling and taxes came out to $17.82. So it's kind of a foil. This could be a potential 9.9 or even a 10 comic, but I don't know if this is going to be anything worth grading at any point. I mean, if I run out of comics to grade, I might do it someday, but I really like this cover. It's got some nice artwork. I've always loved Spider-Gwen. I've mentioned that dozens of times. So I just thought that would be a cool book to have because of the artwork. That's primarily why I'm buying that. I'm not buying that one for an investment purpose. But this one is the best one of the three. Um, to me, this was almost a no-brainer. This person was trying to sell this. There's a sticker on there, so somebody paid $70 for this book at some point. X Factor number 5, which is the first cameo appearance of Apocalypse, but it is signed by Bob Layton. So as you can see, there's a price tag for $70. With shipping and handling and eBay taxes, I paid $12.47 for this book. So even if it wasn't signed, you know, obviously that the character Apocalypse was already in an X-Men movie, and that movie wasn't that wonderful. But still, Apocalypse is a known villain. The prices have gone down, of course, but for under $15 for the first appearance, even though it is the cameo one, the X-Men 6 is the one that's most desired because that's the full appearance. But without 5, you can't have 6, obviously. And having it signed for $12.47, I'll take it. So as they say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So I'm gonna have to contact the seller about that other one, and then I'll just get my money back on it. But and that's a shame. But it is what it is. So those are the three books. Let's read what people have said in the live chat. We got Silver Age Surfer underscore comics, one of my moderators, by the way, says, "Hey Chris, welcome." Carl Cooper says hi. Constipated in Sin City. Absolutely love that. He says, "Hey, Playboy, how's the wife doing? If you and the wife come to Las Vegas, I will give you a pair of tickets to see Janet Jackson in concert here in Las Vegas." Well, that's very nice of you. Wife is doing well. She's currently working in the other room. She works at home. And honestly, I don't see us, unfortunately, getting any vacations anytime soon. With me supporting all of those stray cats and feeding them and everything twice a day, every day. That's basically my job. It's a job I don't get paid for, and I actually spend a lot of my money doing because I do it twice a day, rain or shine, whether it's freezing or whether it's smoldering heat outside. Um, whether it's raining, whether I'm sick, whether I'm tired, whether I'm annoyed or frustrated, I'm always out there. So I mean, my wife and I don't go on vacations. She's not the type that likes to go on vacations anyway. I mean, primarily, we both agree the fact that we moved to Florida, it's like being on a vacation every single day. So we can just literally drive like 25 minutes or so to a half hour and get to Clearwater Beach, which people pay thousands of dollars to go visit. I mean, the traffic is horrendous, but it's within driving, capability to do that. So I appreciate that. And hey, if it ever happens, because we've never been to Vegas, but if it ever happens, Might have to take you up on that, but I appreciate that. He also says, what are your three most memorable moments for you in Yankee stadiums? Um, I've been there a lot. One of them was back in, I think, 87, I believe, where I was 16 years old. Me and my friend went there for the first or second time. We went there. It was the year that the Yankees traded one of their star pitchers for Eric Plunk, and I forget the other guy. It's just the most ridiculous trade. And the Yankees were doing so bad. We went the last day of the year, and the Yankees were playing the Tigers to see who would end up in last place. And I remember, I forget his name. It wasn't Bo Jackson, but it was the Yankees player that also played football. I think it was Reggie, not Reggie Sanders. I forget his name. If anybody remembers, because this is a while ago, but I remember he that I don't know if it was that game or another game I saw where he stole home from third base and he literally jumped over the catcher and ended up being safe. So that was a great one. But I remember that last place game where we had we could you could literally back then go to the stadium and buy tickets, which we did, and we literally had like maybe 15th row from third base on the third base line on the first level. And we just walked to the second row because there was hardly anybody there because it was the last game and they were fighting for last place. And I was very friendly with any of the people that worked there, so I would always have conversations with them. So when it came time to checking the tickets, they literally just walked past us, and we had second row right behind third base. Another time was during, I think it was the 95 strike, where the next year they were giving free tickets away in the bleacher seats, and I got to see a Yankee Red Sox game um, at the bleachers for free. Um, I mean, Yankee Red Sox. I mean, that's a game, and to get it to go for free was amazing. And then I was never in the new stadium, but I think the last time I went was the year before no, I think it was the last year before they shut down the stadium. I just remember, my favorite Yankee was at the time Don Mattingly, and it was just I can't remember much of it because I've gone to a lot of games, but I refuse to ever go to the new stadium. I have yet to go. I've gone to one spring training game here, but it was actually my wife got it the first year that we were here as a birthday present, where she got us right behind home plate at the Phillies um, spring training, and it was Phillies versus who was it? Phillies versus I don't even remember who it was. It was two teams I wasn't rooting for. I think it might have been the Cardinals, and I didn't even know any of the team members. But the George Steinbrenner Stadium is within about a half hour driving distance from where I live. So I would love to go there, but it's just too expensive. But I haven't seen the Yankees at spring training yet. I would love to. But that's another reason why I love the fact that I lived in New York as a Yankee fan and moved to Florida, where I'm within driving distance of seeing the Yankees at least playing in spring training. Or you could go to the Tampa major league team, maybe a time when the Yankees are playing. But again, it's just too expensive for me right now. But I loved going to the games. Like when I was a kid, it used to cost like $15 to get like first tier at Yankee Stadium. And during the 80s, they were horrible. So hardly anybody was there. So you literally can just walk to the front and have the second or first row. But even though they were fighting for last place, which I remember they won, so they ended up not in last place that year. It was still fun games. It was fun to watch, and I definitely that's one of the few things I miss about New York. But you got to move on and you got to live your life and be happy no matter what. So thank you for that. But yeah, those are some memorable moments. Um, Carl Cooper says, "I'll take that amazing Spidey 50." Carl, I think you were the one. Yeah. If you, I left you a message, so if you leave a deposit, that amazing Spider-Man 50 is yours. I sent you a message this morning. I got your message last night. It's probably around 5 in the morning, so I didn't think it was appropriate to message you at that time. But yeah, if you want that one, it's yours. And then there's only like 9 comics left for the auction. So it was a very good sale. Very happy about it. But again, most people that if you're interested or missed the live show for the auction, you still have until tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. to be able to get um, the remaining comics if you're interested. And payment plans are available. And let me see. Yes, Noah says Deion Sanders is the football player. Yes, Deion Sanders, when he was a Yankee, he was an incredible player. I mean, he was a little smaller, but he was definitely a great player. I mean, I became a Yankee fan in 1976, and through the 80s, the Yankees were horrible. And I used to go to games all the time. 90s, I used to love going to see the Yankees in the 90s. Unfortunately, I never went to a playoff game. I just couldn't afford it even back then. I mean, absolutely wouldn't be able to afford it now. It's ridiculous the prices that they're charging, even for like bleacher seats, if I even went to New York. But you know, I spent many a time seeing, uh, just so many good players. It's some good memories. Constipated in Cincinnati says my favorite player was Reggie Jackson and Ricky Henderson. Great players. Absolutely loved Reggie Jackson, was always upset that he left the Yankees. I remember having, as a matter of fact, I wish they would remake it. Remember the Reggie bar? That was probably one of the best candies. It was like this little round thing with chocolate, caramel, and kind of like almost like Rice Krispies in it. But that was like my favorite candy. But of course, that was a limited time. And then he got either traded or his contract was up and he went to the Angels. And I was devastated by that. But yeah, he was an amazing Yankee and missed those days. I mean, I grew up in the days of, you know, Willie Randolph and just, it was fun time. But yeah, thank you for that, going down that memory lane a little bit. So Pino says hello. So we're going to do today's surprise subscriber shout out. Again, I just want to make sure if you're interested with this giveaway, if you become a paid member to my Patreon account at patreon.com/, we love comics by February 28th, as long as there are paid members and it equals 20 people, or more, of course, I will be raffling off this X-Men 96 complete, about an 8.0 in my opinion, worth roughly about $200 to $250. All you have to do is join patreon.com/, we love comics. You also get your name up here and get your name shouted out every video. If I get to 30 paid members by February 28th, I'll not only do the comic, but I'll also give away, as you can see, the regular tiers of the unopened baseball packs. So it's definitely worth it. And again, there's the only minimum to join is the minimum to join anybody's Patreon, which is $2 a month. But you'll get one entry for every $2 you put in. So what'll happen is if we reach the goal by February 28th, I'll do one of those spinning wheels where I pick people, I'll put their names on the wheel and then it'll spin and it'll pick the winner. The more you contribute, the more entries you'll have on that wheel. So, I don't have anybody that's done this, but for example, if you did $100, which would be amazing, by the way, and definitely make me pass out from shock, you'd have 50 entries. So chances of winning would be just that much better. I'm not saying somebody has to do that, but you could do the minimum and you'll get at least one entry. So it's my way of saying thank you. And I want to, it helps support me. It helps me be able to buy food for the animals. And it just makes, life easier. Carl Cooper says 1989 Oakland A's, McGuire, Canseco, Henderson. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember I was shocked when they traded not Mark McGuire, um, what was his name? Ah, Jose Canseco for John Franco with the Texas Rangers. So yeah, I remember that. But yeah, the Oakland A's were an amazing team, especially with their closer. Ah, but yeah, I was shocked when they traded Jose Canseco for Julio Franco with the Texas Rangers, and that didn't work out for either team. So, but yeah, that's nice little memory lane down there. I used to love baseball. I don't follow sports anymore. It's not because I don't love them. I just don't love the direction of the politics. I don't like that players don't hustle really anymore. I mean, baseball, you still have it, but especially basketball, because I was a huge, when the baseball team in 95 went on strike, I started watching basketball and became a huge Knick fan. And back then, they, especially when you're talking about the Knicks with Patrick Ewing, playing the Bulls with Michael Jordan. I mean, those games were intense battles. And nowadays, I mean, the players just don't care anymore. And with all the political stuff and the politics and the DEI nonsense, I can't support any sport anymore. I mean, I used to have Super Bowl parties at my house and have massive amount of people come to my house when I was single back in the day. I used to make Jello shots and lasagna and all types of different foods, and it was a party atmosphere. As a matter of fact, every Super Bowl, at least 3 to 5 people would have to crash on my couch or in my house because I wasn't going to let them drive drunk because I just wasn't that kind of host. But nowadays, I could care less about sports. The egos of these people, I mean, they should be really appreciative. I mean, oh, I remember back in the 90s, I forget the Tiger pitcher during the World Series. It was either, no, it was the Twins. It was an older pitcher, and he pitched 10 innings. And it was like a 1-0 game or a 1-1 game. It was a very close game. He pitched 10 innings. If a pitcher goes 6 innings now, that's a huge amount of work. I hated that was the one thing I didn't like about the early 90s with the Yankees is when they started taking pitchers out after the 6th and 7th inning. I'm old school. I like when pitchers would have complete games, and you just don't see it anymore. Everybody's so worried about hurting their arm and everything, but back in the days, you know, they were just much tougher. And I just can't support that stuff anymore. Of course, just because I think that way doesn't mean you have to. So that's just my opinion. So anyway, hopefully you guys appreciate this. If you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. So far, like I said, I had one person that was canceled their Patreon, but another person um, either joined or rejoined. I'm not sure because Patreon's not exactly, they don't make it easy. I have to kind of dig a little bit to find out. So Kevin W. Is the replacement of one other person that was there before because the other person had said it was canceled. I don't know if a credit card declined or they just decided they had enough, and that's fine. But right now we have 12 people as paid members. So if we get 8 more by February 28th, that giveaway is going to happen. So that's up to you guys. And I guess we'll see. So thank you to everybody, all the people in the live chat right now. You are all today's surprise subscriber shout outs, so you guys know what to do. So if you want to give a shout out to our shout outs, please do. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, I'll leave that up to you. And again, you have until tomorrow night, Saturday, until 11:59 p.m. to be able to purchase any of the comics that are still left from the auction. And the one person that I was saying earlier that might be asking about a comic just sent me a message here in the live chat. And actually, they just sent me an email and confirmed it. So, Amazing Spider Man 50 seems to be off the table, but there's still about 9 more comics. So out of 21 comics on my auction, there are 9 comics still left. So more than half of them sold. So I'm very happy about that. That absolutely helps me out. And I want to make sure I helped you guys out by giving you guys really good prices and also including those payment plans. And I'm going to continue to do that because if everybody's happy in a transaction, that's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, there are so many people, and not just in the comic book community, I'm talking all over YouTube or all over the internet, that they need to scratch out every single nickel and dime and take advantage of you in every single way possible. And that's just not the way to do business, and especially not a way to do repeat business. And I think that's why I may not get a lot of viewers, and I've lost a lot of subscribers recently, and that's fine. People have the choice to come and go as they please. But for the few people that I do have, you guys support me in ways that I cannot thank you enough for. And it makes me want to continue to make more and more videos as you see. And I hope you guys appreciate that. I think almost all this week I've been doing videos almost every single day. And it's my way of kind of giving back and saying thank you. So thank you so much, everybody. I always appreciate anybody after this is over. If they can leave a comment, I always read them. I always respond and look forward to them. So I hope you'll do that. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I. It is We Love Comics. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.